1 Chapter 1. You are listening at FameTV.info. As Mr. Poles was writing his report on the investigation, the chief of police, Karma, the detective, Rodney, and a policeman, Arist, burst into his office. Chief Karma was holding a warrant of arrest in his face. Poles looked up from his desk and said, "Oh, Mr. Karma, Mr. Rodney, and Mr. Arist, what can I do for you?" "Mr. Brad Poles, you're under arrest," Chief Karma said. "What?" Mr. Poles said angrily as he stood up from his desk. "What is the meaning of this? You can't possibly suspect me as the murderer of Mr. O'Neill." "Oh, about that," Karma started, "we got evidence that points to you as the killer, Mr. Poles." "And that is?" "Mr. Poles, I hope you are aware of your situation," Detective Rodney said angrily. "You have killed Mr. O'Neill, and would have gotten away with it had you not left some evidence behind." "The evidence we have here is," Detective Karma pulled out a report on the case and read it. "Your DNA left on Mr. O'Neill, along with some pieces of your hair and your fingerprints." "Is that all?" "Well, I have a good reason for that. He, asked me to, go to his house." Detective Rodney pulled out a bullet from his bag. "I almost forgot," he said, "we have also found out bullet used to kill Mr. O'Neill was fired from your gun." Mr. Poles was sweating now. Oh, really? And how did you find that out?" "Simple," Mr. Arist said, "the ballistic markings on the bullet match your gun." No. I made sure it was destroyed. I refuse to be arrested. "Whether or not you refuse to be arrested will not change anything." Karma growled as Mr. Arist got the handcuffs. "Mr. Poles, you are hereby under arrest in the name of the law. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court. Mr. Arist, arrest, Mr. Poles." The next day, Mr. Arist was given a trial in the courtroom. With all the evidence against him, he was pronounced guilty. He confessed all his plans and was given 30 years in prison. "Well, Karma, I guess I owe you one." Mr. de Rare laughed. Chief Karma was at a restaurant with Mr. de Rare and Mr. Crimson, talking about the case. "I still can't believe O'Neill's dead," Mr. Crimson said sadly. "He was more or less the head of operations, actually. He even managed to find us a scientist, James Steroid." "Well, I'm just glad that the killer's arrested, that's all," Karma said. "Oh, by the way, Karma, your son's still studying to become a policeman just like you, right?" Mr. de Rare asked Karma. "Yeah, why do you ask?" "Well, since I owe you, I'll give your son a scholarship until he graduates from college, then." He looked at Crimson and continued. "Well, Crimson, since it'll be our company sponsoring Karma's son, I hope you'll also agree." Crimson nodded. "Of course," he said, "it's a great idea. We need more cops just like Karma here patrolling the streets." He added. Okay then," Karma said, "look. I need to get going to the prison to check things out. Do you mind if I leave?" Mr. Crimson looked at his watch. "Speaking of leaving," he said, "don't we have to meet up with Mr. Richard Moneybags later, de Rare?" "Oh, right, I almost forgot," Mr. de Rare exclaimed. "I guess we also have to get going then, Karma." With one last wave, they parted ways and left. As Karma was about to leave, Mr. Arist and Detective Rodney met him at the door. As they saw him, Detective Rodney told him, "Sir, something happened at the prison." "Really? What happened?" "Apparently, the prisoners managed to break out." Mr. Arist said, "We'd better get going then, sir." "Agreed." Karma said, "We'd better hurry." As they arrived at the prison they met the warden and several guards outside. "What happened?" Karma asked the warden. "Sir, it's horrible," the warden exclaimed. "The prisoners are doing a riot. I think the leaders are Then Long, and some guy named Bad Police I think, then Long, the one arrested for criminal activities, and Brad Poles, the one arrested for the murder of O'Neill.
I think so, Chief.
Okay then. Rodney, you'll be coming with me. Arrest, you and the warden go through the other side. The rest of you, encircle this area. After several attempts of rounding up all the criminals, the only ones left were Poles and then Long. As they were looking for them, they suddenly saw Mr. Arrest fighting them. Take that! Mr. Arrest shouted as he punched Poles in his face. As he did, then Long got a piece of broken glass and cut him in the face. It'll take more than that to finish me off, Arrest said. While he was looking at then Long, Mr. Poles got a metal bar and hit him on the head with it. Mr. Arrest fainted. Arrest, no. Chief Karma said, Mr. Poles, you'll pay for that. Then Detective Rodney pulled out his gun and pointed it at then Long while Chief Karma pointed his at Poles. Don't make us shoot you, Karma told them. Yeah, Detective Rodney said, why don't you just give up now? Give up? Poles said, I don't think we will we, then Long? Nope, then Long said, I'd like to see you both try. At that moment, then Long grabbed a piece of brick on the floor and threw it at them. Karma, sir, look out! Rodney said as he jumped on Karma, knocking them both on the floor. Poles used the metal bar he was holding and hit it on the window. Come on, then Long, hurry up. Poles said to then Long to tell to jump out of the window. The bottom's covered with grass, and it's not really high up, so we'll be fine. As for you two. Poles looked at Karma and Rodney and said, next time you see us, we'll be known as Team Luminescence, and revenge will finally be mine. He jumped out of the window and Rodney and Karma ran to the window and looked down. Do you think he meant what he said? Rodney asked Karma. Doubt it. Karma said to Rodney. But, even if he does, we'll be ready for him. Chief Karma, sir. The warden ran up to them, out of breath. We got all the prisoners back, but then Long and Poles, they've escaped. Karma finished his sentence for him. Warden, call the police station and tell them that we need to find them. Karma told him, they must be caught. Chief Karma couldn't help wondering how long it will take to look for them. It could take years, he thought, but one day, we will find them. And if they became Team Luminescence, they would be ready for them. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.